Alright guys, we're doing something a little different today. It's one of my training runs. I'm running a 50K in October. So this is my 20-mile day. It's about a 30-mile week. And this is kind of where this is a kind of a midway point between two of the sections that I run pretty often. 20 miles is the longest I've ever ran, so this should be an interesting trip. I'm loaded up. I've got all my stuff in my waist pack, and then I've got more inside to refuel when I come back by. So I'll go 5 miles out, 5 miles back, resupply here, and then I will do the same the other direction. Alright guys, welcome back. We're at mile 4. Just now getting back to the beautiful Illinois River somewhere over that little edge. Haven't seen too many floaters today. Weekend after Labor Day, so it's kind of dead. It is hot though, probably 85 degrees. Pace is not bad, but it's warm, sucking down water more than I thought I would. But it's been a good run so far. Alright guys, we're back. Mile about 7.5, so figured I'd check in with you here. That second stretch of 5 miles on the way back has been hot. There's not a lot of cover until about right now. You can see the trees overhang pretty amazingly right now, so it's good relief from the sun. Almost out of water. I had 2 miles left to the truck, so that'll be a welcome Powerade drink and refill on the water bottles. Not a lot to report. This is the big hill on this stretch. It's just a monster, and this is the top of the hill is the turnaround for the 10 mile during the race. So there should be an aid station at the top of this hill when I'm actually running it, which would be nice, but that'll only be about 5 miles into my run. Alright, so I knew I wasn't gonna record going down that hill, but they call this Dog Hollow, and up until the last couple of runs I didn't really understand it. So I came through here at a certain time of day. Well, let's see if it'll live up to its name. And of course, it's the one time that I run by that the herd of dogs doesn't just brutally attack me. We'll see, maybe next time. Alright guys, just finished my halfway stop at mile 10. Stopped by the truck and scarfed down a PB&J, banana, Gatorade, and some water. Refilled all my bottles, and now I'm back at it. It's still really hot. I didn't anticipate it being this warm. The good news is I'm running into a headwind, so should have it at my back on the way back to the truck. So this is about mile 11 right here. Body feels good. Obviously I'm a little tired. And a weird pain in my right ankle, kind of Achilles area, which I hope clears itself up. Pace has been a little slower than I wanted, but I'd rather finish long miles than finish short miles quick. So alright, so this is kind of a big spot for me. I've officially ran the entire course of the Pumpkin Hollow 100 in different runs, obviously, but that right there was the creek crossing that I ran to from the opposite direction the last time I was in this area. And so I've done the full circumnavigation of the nature preserve. Kind of a baby win for me. Stomach's not feeling awesome after the 20-ounce Gatorade in about 2 minutes and the peanut butter and jelly and banana that I just had. I have to rethink my nutrition choices moving forward. The terrain on this side of the preserve is just super rolly. I think there's one more big hill coming up. I don't know if I'll get there with the 5 miles or not. I don't feel awesome, but I think the 20 is going to happen today, which will be my longest run of my life. Longest amount of time on my feet running as well. So hopefully I'll be reporting back in about 4 miles feeling a little bit better. Alright, so while I've got a second, you'll notice I've been walking hills. It's a new thing for me. I've never really been able to slow down my pace running. All the halves that I've done, I've struggled to keep a slower pace in order to run a little more healthy race. The longer distance of the 50K training is definitely making me appreciate that a little more. So I've been trying my best to walk the tall hills, jog the downhills, and then just run the flats like regular. So my times and my splits are slower, but I'm able to run farther and a whole lot less damage on the knees, the ankles, all that. I did not anticipate this big guy this early in this run. So I would have probably switched my directions around and started this way had I known this big sucker was here. First off, how absolutely beautiful is this road? I'm using the camera as a reason to take a break because I'm not gonna lie, I'm flat out exhausted. Second thing is holy tan line / dirt line. I am so proud of myself, it's not even funny. I hadn't even noticed till just now how ridiculous it was. So the farther I run, the cooler this place looks. I've been through here probably 10 times, and every time it looks different, and every time it's just as pretty as the time before. It's kind of crazy. But now I've got a decision to make. I'm at 14 3/4 mile, about to my turnaround point, and I'm almost out of water. And I really don't want to go back the way I came without water, so I'm thinking about making the extra mile-ish jaunt up over that hill to the Nature Preserve headquarters and hoping that they have water outside and that it's turned on. Or I'll just be adding another mile to my already 5-mile jog back. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. So I think I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can't refill some water. So I've been let down by the Nature Conservancy before. You know, the multi-billion-dollar nonprofit corporation, quote unquote. Yeah, those guys. They run the Nickel Preserve, which is where Pumpkin Hollow runs around. And for whatever reason, out here in the middle of nowhere, they have a lock on their water spigot. The one water spigot for the next, I don't know, 5 miles, and there's a lock on it. At Nature Conservancy headquarters. Explain that to me. They have hiking trails, cyclists that use this, runners that ran out of water about a mile ago that ran a mile out of the way to get water. So, me and the Nature Conservancy are on bad terms right now. This is strike 2 for the year. I can probably fill you in a different video about strike 1, but they've got one left, and I'm about to just bail on the Nature Conservancy completely. And you know, I know my Amazon Smile donation doesn't do a lot, but you know, I could always give it to Habitat for Humanity or any of the other thousands of nonprofits that actually deserve it. So I'll be walking the remainder of the 6 miles back to the truck so that I don't die. And yeah, pretty disappointed in that, but I'll catch you up whenever I'm closer to the truck. So now that I have plenty of time to walk back and gather my thoughts, this is a perfect example of knowing when to quit. I've talked about this before on the blog, in a video or two when we did land run last year, but knowing when to quit is huge. I could easily power through and run the last 5 miles of this thing without water, but the odds of hurting myself, getting dehydrated, getting stuck out here overnight are fairly high. I don't have a cell phone on me, I don't have a weapon on me, I don't have a fire starter on me. So playing it safe here is the best bet, by far. I can walk this thing back, it'll get me back. I'll be back in time for the OU game, and hopefully that can cheer my spirits a little bit. But there's no reason to push so hard that you get stuck out here, you get hurt. I don't have anybody within 100 miles probably to come pick me up. It'd be somebody from Tulsa coming to pick me up out here, even if I could reach them. So something to remember every time you're outside. I don't even know if this will make it into the vlog, but something to remember is to always know when to call it. There's nothing wrong with walking back. My times are going to be terrible. I'm going to leave my Strava running just so you can see how miserable this thing was. But it's important to know when to quit. The conversation that comes up more often than not with Rachel and I is talking about how no one suffers anymore. No one puts in hard work every day. People go to an office, they sit for 8 hours and they go home. They don't know what it's like to have grit, to experience hardship, physical labor, stuff like that our grandparents and great-grandparents, they did every day for their entire life in order to survive. And we've gotten such a, kind of the point where our society is so cushy and so sissified that I know it's kind of disappointing, and stuff like this always reminds me, especially when I'm out of water. I've got 4 more miles left to walk. It's not really hot anymore. It's down to 78, 77 degrees. Bugs are just eating me alive, but I'm not in any danger. I'm going to make it to the truck. There's no one trying to hurt me. There's no evil regime that's patrolling the roads with machine guns. We live a very blessed life, and I think it's important to get out into the wild like this, to where there's, I mean, I haven't passed a house since the nature preserve, 2 miles, and I haven't passed a house. So, I mean, as far out in the middle of nowhere as you can get in the Tahlequah area, and, you know, there's something to be said for getting out here and showing that you can survive and make it. And I'm not struggling by any means. I'm just an idiot that didn't bring enough water. So I challenge everybody that's watching to spend some time outside and put yourself in a situation, controlled of course, where nothing bad's going to happen to you, but where you have the chance to get out and experience what it's like to be thirsty or hungry or cold or hot or exhausted or all the above. I challenge you to do that. You'll learn some interesting things about yourself and about what others are going through that might not have all the same things we do. So this is officially the farthest I've ever walked / ran. We're at 18.5 right now, and not exactly the way I wanted to do it, but I guess it counts. Still got 4 miles left before I get to the truck, and I'm carrying like a 17-minute pace walking, which is kind of amazing, but we'll see how this goes. I've got a big hill coming up, and I'm just not excited about it. And I'm kind of racing against daylight. As you can see, it's starting to get kind of dark. It is, let's see what time it is. My broken watch today too, so it's been a doozy of a day. It is 6:23, and so I assume the sun starts going or starts setting at about 7:30. So I don't think I'm going to make it back in daylight, but I think with the twilight, I think I'll be okay. And the road's fairly clear. It's not like there's a lot of wayfinding. I hang a left up here and then I stay going until I see the truck. So I'm not too worried about that. More hillbillies to worry about at that point. So I'll check in a little bit. Alright, so I've been on my feet 4 hours, 29 minutes and 55 seconds. I am at mile 20. I believe the truck is at 22 if I had to guess. I found some water. You can kind of see it right there. There's a freshwater spring up on the hill somewhere. Water's freezing cold and it's running. I just found the area where it was running the most, the cleanest and clearest visibility, and hooked that up in my bottles. I'm going to try not to drink all of it, because Giardia is not a fun experience, even if you are sucking down 80 ounces of water after you get home. So I'm going to try to hoof it and avoid running anymore. I think if I walk it out, I'll probably be pretty close. So I'll report back if it starts getting dark on me. Alright, so I've got 1 mile to go. I'm feeling alright. I think I'm going to have enough sunlight, as I've got that much left. I was just wandering around here and I hear something over the top of the rise to my right. And there's a herd of, I don't even know if it's a herd, it's a gaggle, a murder of wild hogs. And they're just, I mean, they've got more piglets than they do adults. I'm trying to get on out of here, so I don't have to deal with that, because those dudes can really tear you up. They're a nuisance. In this state of Texas, parts of Louisiana, they tear stuff up. I've seen little wallers all over the road where they get down in the mud and just roll around and they tear stuff up. But yeah, scared the crap out of them. I heard them over the hill and I didn't know what was going on, so I'm going to try to book out of here. Alright, so I can see the truck, or where the truck's supposed to be. I hope there's a truck there. I just came around the corner and I'm hoping there's a truck, or I would probably cry and not know what to do. So this was a gigantic cluster. It's really the only way I know how to describe it. My Powerade was still there, which is a good thing. My watch is reading 22 and some change on the mileage. I've been on the road 5 hours. I'm exhausted. The longest I think I'd been on the road running was definitely like 3 hours before this, so I've definitely put some extra mileage on. Yeah, I'm gonna be posting a blog post pretty soon after this vlog's pushed that has some tips on your first 20 plus mile training run, and most of them are going to be things that I've learned in the last 5 hours or so. So stay tuned. I'll link that in the description whenever it goes up, and I will probably recap this whenever I get home and have an ice bath. So until then.